Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at your work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers.
This is Jonathan Keith, and you're listening to Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is about a troubled marriage, a flat tire, and a missing mother.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Oh, just enjoying life. School, fall break was great. We're back to school.
Fall break
It's been a
off.
good week. Yep.
We went camping.
Yep, sure did. Had a
I got
blast.
sick, and that's why I sound like a man, so my apologies.
It's all right.
What's going on?
We got some fun stuff this weekend. I guess if you're listening to this on Saturday,
It's tonight.
it's not too late. Tonight,
It's not too late. Tonight.
we have the Monster Mash at the Jefferson House of
Yeah,
Flowers.
if you're local in Kokomo, we're having our first ever outdoor concert. It's called the Monster Mash. It's Halloween themed, so you can wear a costume. There's food and games, and Booze Buggy is going to come out and serve drinks, live music from some local artists. We're going to be there.
Yep.
Come hang out.
Yep, you can bring your kids. It'll be like a coloring station.
Like
It's
coloring
family
for
friendly.
kids,
Yeah.
So
So he's feeling.
come on out. My
The
dad is
flower
smoking.
man
My dad is
smoking some
smoking
pork.
pulled pork. Yeah,
Said he got 6 pork butts.
that's a lot of pork.
I said I want one of them. That'd be a lot.
Anything else? Oh, the Delphi.
Lot of tea on the
Oh
Delphi
my
stuff.
gosh, I have been reading the
Find yourself
updates.
some TikTokers that are covering that thing because there's a bunch.
I could talk about it for a very long time, and I won't. But so you can skip forward through all this though if you don't want to hear me talk. But it's crazy. I don't know. I don't think I have enough evidence to know if Richard Allen, if I think he did it, but I'm leaning toward no. If he did, I don't think I have enough evidence right now to say that he did. Like, definite reasonable doubt. It is just getting crazy. Every day brings more answers or more questions than answers. There's no recordings, audio or video. So, like, we're never going to know what happens in that courtroom unless you're there. I'm so tempted to drive over there. They let 24 people from the public in per day. People are standing in line at 4 a.m., they said,
Really?
trying to get in the doors in the first 24 people. So they said that what they said that happens is people are standing outside the courthouse at 4 a.m. And then when they open the doors, it's like a mad dash to the 3rd floor courtroom. Which
Wow.
I thought if I was athletic at all and my leg wasn't recently broken, I would attempt it, but I know I'd get left in the
See, I'm
dust
thinking
trying
like
to
right
get-
here as you're telling me, so I'm like, I can.
Johnny's
some of
like,
those
I
old
could
ladies,
get
I'm
there.
Get out of the way now. Come on.
I would not make it to the 3rd. I would not be 24th to the courtroom on the 3rd floor. That's for sure. So I'm not going to try. But there's a lot of, honestly, podcasters, which actually I think we could get in and say we're news because like they're letting certain members of the media, and there's a lot of podcasters.
Interesting.
Which actually, did you know, as podcasters, we can get press passes for a lot of events and say that we're press?
I've heard this, but I feel like it's not as easy as people make it seem.
I don't know, but there's a lot of podcasters at the trial that are getting in, not in the 24 count, in the media section.
Interesting.
And they are just like feverishly taking notes. Everybody,
them.
all the reporters.
We're relying on you people.
No, we really are, because nobody knows what's going on because they won't let they're not recording anything.
It's crazy that the crazy thing to me is the jury is 100% sequestered. So like,
Yes,
they're saying this trial could take 30 days.
they're expecting it to take 30 days. And this jury, which the jury is from Fort Wayne, from Allen County, and they have been bussed over to Carroll County, and straight up, like, I don't even know where they're staying, probably the one hotel that Delphi has to offer, and they get bussed to and from the courthouse every morning, and they are no cell phones, not allowed to talk to anybody. Like, I don't even think they can talk to their family. Like, they literally just have their food brought to them, and can you imagine 30 days?
No, I would hate it.
I mean, part of it sounds like kind of a much needed vacation for me, but 30 days is a little
30 days is a long time. I feel like
I have
after
dreams.
like 1 or 2 days, you'd be like, all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when I would do card shows that were like 4 or 5 days, like day 3, I'm like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah. Plus, they're going through literally like the worst most grueling stuff that they have to do. And it's like, wow, that's a rough job to have right now to be on that
For
jury.
sure.
So yeah, literally these reporters and these podcasters are literally taking notes, which is so I've been listening to like 3 and 4 different people because they all have different information, and they're telling you like, hey, don't listen to just me because the next guy beside me might have written down something that I didn't get.
It's hard to keep up.
So there's literally, it's not that it's like conflicting reports.
It's like when you compare notes in college.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
We sat through the same lecture, right?
Yeah, they're not conflicting reports. They're just like everybody has a little bit, like some different tidbits of information. Like one reporter like noted like what Richard Allen did when they said this, but the other person was writing, so he didn't see it. And so they said literally every day after court they meet and like just go over notes. Try to like compile them for the public.
Crime junkies.
I know. I can't believe they're not letting anybody be. It's ridiculous. This whole thing is.
I'm proud
ridiculous.
of those people.
I am too. Oh, thank you.
Any of you are
keep
listening,
up the good work.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, keep up the good work. Because I want all the tea, and I am watching it, and I can't wait to see what happens. It's getting crazy. There's so much information has came out already. And we've been saying for 7 years now, like one day this will go to court and we're going to know about it. I literally think it's going to be a Netflix documentary.
I do too, 100%.
No, it's not.
There's so much that's happened in the last like
I'm
10
really worried
days.
I'm worried it's going to be a mistrial with the information that they're working with, though.
I think at this point it would be, and I mean this, I think at this point it would be sketchier if it was not a mistrial.
There's some seriously sketchy stuff happening.
Based on what's happened in the last 10 days, I feel like it has to be a mistrial.
Like small town corruption.
Not even just
I like
small
rolled
town.
my eyes when
we can't even talk about it right now. It's got to be.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I did want to tell you guys too something that happened to me while we were camping. Do you remember our missing and murdered in mountain the series we did with the mini murdered mountain series? And we talked about how just like down south, how it's just absolutely crazy, and like how these people that go missing, there's a theory that like crazy mountain people took them.
Yes.
Okay. So when we were camping, I was talking about that, and one of the people like
I got full body chills just remembering this.
We have a group that we camp with, and they're just friends of ours, and so we're sitting around the campfire and we're talking, and I was talking about how I went on a trip. They're talking about like ghost stories and stuff, and like if you'd ever had like
creepy encounters.
And I said, we went on a girls trip to Brown County once, and me and my friends slept in the living room, and we kept hearing, we thought people were outside walking on the deck of this cabin. Now keep in mind, we're literally in the middle of nowhere. Well, then the next morning, somebody else that was in the room, we thought we were just like, it was a raccoon or something, I don't know. And they're like, did you hear somebody like walking around last night? And I was like, no. And then like, it all like accumulation, everybody heard different things, and we were freaking out. And somebody was like, well, I thought Jamie was in my room. Like I opened my eyes and somebody was standing in the doorway, but then it wasn't Jamie was like, it wasn't me. And it was just really freaky. And then they had this like checkout book where like you can write your experience in it, and we started reading it, and it was like all these creepy encounters that people had about hearing footsteps in this cabin. And we were like, okay, get us out of the mountains, like we're done, peace out. It was really creepy. So anyway, I was telling this story, and one of the guys that we camp with, Matt, he is this like large farmer, strapping man. Like I would trust him to like protect me. He's a big guy, like a strong dude, And he's like, oh, he goes, I grew up in Brown County. He goes, I would never go outside at dark. And I was like, excuse me? Please elaborate on what you mean. And he was like, oh, down south, those mountains, like, he was like, they are, and he just started going into about like what we talked about when we did that series. He was like, they're so dense, like you could easily go missing down there. And I was like, I literally did this on my podcast and talked about people that went missing. And I said, there's like a theory that there's like these crazy mountain people that are just like picking people off, and like they're not getting, eaten by bears. Like it's the mountain people. He goes, oh yeah, for sure.
He's like,
and you guys, this grown man was dead ass serious.
He was like I know there's people in the mountains.
He said, I know there's people like that down there. I grew up there. He said, and I'm not saying this like to be funny. He said, but that is one place that I would not go outside after dark. And I said, excuse me? I was there. And he was serious, you guys. He was dead serious. He's from the area. And I don't know. Maybe
I know
he's
our
listening
cases.
now,
Our
and he was-
cases were in
I mean,
the
he was not
Appalachian
joking.
Mountains, and he's talking about Brown County, which is in Indiana.
But he was talking about
But
the national parks, like being down
in
there.
general,
Yeah.
He
just said
woods
when you
can
start
be that dense.
when
to
you
where there's
start
people in
going
it.
down south, he said things get sketchy, and I was like, is he joking? And he was not joking, you guys. Like, he legitimately is on board with the mountain people, and so am I now. And I think they were outside of our cabin that night in Brown County.
That's creepy.
And I think we heard them walking. And then that led to, so my parents also went to a cabin once in Brown County. And my dad said that, you know, he hunts and he's been in the woods a lot. And he said, I can tell the difference between like a human walking and an animal walking. And he said, I had my gun. He said, because I heard somebody walking outside our cabin. And I mean, for my dad to say that, that's pretty sketchy. And then one other, you guys can just fast forward through all this talking. There's a lot of talking today and I don't really care. But Johnny and I went one year. I surprised him with a trip to Brown County. We love Brown County. It's super fun. Nashville, Indiana.
It's probably the most scared I've ever been in my life.
When I'm not kidding either with you when I tell you this, if you ask me and Johnny separately or together, the most scared we've been, we would both tell you this night because I thought it would be super cute. His birthday's November 3rd. And so I rented on Airbnb a camper, and it was this cute little like vintage redone camper. And I thought I was renting it in like Brown County National Park. It was cold. And so I thought this will be like cute and cozy. We can go like snug in this camper and like have a nice little birthday trip. And when we drove, we ended up we had to leave later than we thought. And so it was dark when we got down there. And it was not in Brown County National Park. It was in some like creepy campground.
It's like Brown County Recreational Park or something like that.
I don't even know.
We were only
It was the off-brand campground. The only people in the park, you guys. And we had to turn off the main highway and drive 20 minutes into the mountains. The drive alone was scary. We're losing phone signal the further we get in. We get there and we're like, first of all, creepy scarecrow was the first red
Big
flag
time.
at the entrance.
There was nothing not creepy
Pitch
about
black.
this.
Nobody's there. We get to this little camper and the code that the Airbnb lady did not work. We are seriously, you guys, in the middle of the woods with now what we know is crazy mountain people surrounding us probably with their pitchforks.
And everyone saw us.
And everyone saw us.
Continue. Yes.
They were going to eat us for sure. And we're hearing all these creepy sounds. And I'm like, there's got to be other people in this campground, right? Like, we're not the only ones here. Not a soul around. Can't get in. No phone signal. So we have to get back into the car, drive 20 minutes back down to the highway to contact the Airbnb people, to which they told us that there was a hidden key. We drove back up the mountain. I'm not kidding when I said, like, we're a 2.5 hour drive from home. Like, I would rather go home, like, and lose my $100 than it cost me to stay in this camper tonight, because that's how scared I was. And we were trying to, like, there's no lights. My headlights are on in the car. Johnny's trying to, like, get the key.
Back the Jeep.
So he had to
Jeep
walk.
up so I could aim the lights at the door.
So he had to walk around to behind the camper. So the camper was, like, parked on the edge of, like, the thick woods itself. And y'all, this is before I started the podcast, because I probably wouldn't have let him go back there.
So we wouldn't have done this if we've done
The spare key was hidden under the tire on the back side of the camper. And so Johnny had to walk around with nothing but the light on his phone to the behind this camper. I'm surprised he wasn't snatched then by the mountain people. And he got it. And we literally, you guys, we got in that camper and locked the door. And I was terrified. Absolutely terrified.
Scaredest I've ever been in my life.
It was awful. The next day in the light, honestly, the light did not make it any better. It was the creepiest campground. It was completely abandoned. Not a soul inside.
I thought it was awesome in the light.
Would you go back? Would you go back?
I would go back if there was other people there. Like I will never go and be the only campsite in a huge place like that.
I legitimately now,
Never
when I
again.
look back on it, I'm like, that was actually dangerous. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like that was a
that
dangerous
was your fault,
situation.
100%
I'm
your
sorry, I
fault.
was trying to be romantic.
Man, I'm glad that we survived all that.
Apparently now, with the knowledge that I have about the Brown County, Southern Indiana, Kentucky,
Cannibals.
the cannibals that live in the mountains down there, that are literally picking people off. Like, what if you wouldn't have came back around the camper that night? I would have been like, bye.
Yeah.
I don't have no cell phone service to call 911. I'm going to go drive 20 minutes to find it. No, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I'll never go back. At least to that campground to be by myself. That was scary.
Yeah, that was a wild time.
Anyway, so I just wanted you guys to know that I did confirm that there, people might have been
Snatching people in the
snatching
mountains.
people.
and that apparently it's like possible because like it's hard for us in flat Indiana to like think about.
Well, that's what I was explaining to him. Like when we were researching those cases, like everybody, I'm like, how can somebody go missing when you are literally 25 feet away from a person? And they're like, you can't possibly, and he reiterated it. He's like, you can't possibly understand how dense these woods are and how thick it is until you're in it and you've seen it and you've lived there. And he was like, it is like people really, you can be 10 feet away from somebody and not hear them because there's so much overgrowth. Like you can't hear people talking. He said there's ravines that, you can't even get to if somebody was down there. And so, it's literally, we're in Howard County, Indiana, and Howard County is the flattest county in the state. So it truly is like, we can't wrap our heads around it. So,
yeah.
He said he worked for the highway department mowing. Matt did. Were you there when he said this? He said he mowed.
Yes. And he said that.
And he said
they'd have to like.
One day his boss was like, hey, when you get to this certain road, like don't go past it. Just call me. And he was like, okay, whatever. And so he called his boss, was like, hey, I'm at this intersection. So his boss was like, okay, just wait there. And he said, before long, the sheriff pulls up. And he's like, okay, go ahead and mow. And he's like, what? And he said, well, there's some people around this area that don't like when people are close to their property and they live up here. And he said they've
like, I'm here to protect you.
I'm here to protect you. Like they've attacked people before. But, this is county property, so you have to mow it. So go ahead and mow it, and I'll just stand right here and make sure nobody jumps that. I like, what? Yeah. I would have been like, this does not need mowed. Goodbye. So yeah, that's our intro today. It's a long one. Sorry. It was about like 20 minutes.
Long. Pretty long.
Skip through it. Start the case. Stanley Cleaning Company has an exciting new service they are offering, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Laundry. Yes, they will come to your house, and for $15 a load, they will pick it up, take it, wash it, dry it, fold it, and bring it back to you. This is something I have dreamed about since I became an adult and started doing laundry on my own. Hit them up and get your place cleaned and your laundry done by my friends over at Stanley Cleaning Company. You can find them on Facebook or give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606.
You ready for me to start the case? I'm gonna jump right into it.
Go for it.
Okay, so we're back in Indiana again. Yay. This I think this is like our 20th case, like our 20th missing Midwest case that we've done in Indiana.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. So we're going down to Elwood actually, and we've been through Elwood.
Elwood's not too far.
We used to go through Elwood on our way to Brown County. Like we would go down 13 and then 37 and go. So yeah.
If we go to Brown County, we will not be taking that route.
We won't do that anymore because we live in a different place. Okay. But when we lived in Swayze, yeah. But yeah, so there are
$3,000 generals.
There are 8,400 people in Elwood. Okay. $3 generals. Feels like a lot of dollar generals for a town with 8,000 people. But
it is.
Whatever. Good for them.
Elwood's not that far
good for them. Here. It's really not.
Our school, we used to play Elwood and
and stuff. In basketball and baseball. Yep. Good memories. Like I said, we've literally been to the Dollar General market there on our way down there before.
Yep.
Like, we have. But yeah. So there you go, Elwood. And actually, Teresa Lynn Wisner is from Anderson, but this all happens in Elwood. So we're going with Elwood instead of Anderson. So in May of 1990, Teresa was home with her husband, James, and her 2-year-old son, Jimmy. And at 9:30 p.m., she left and went to a diner in Elwood, connected to a hotel in Elwood. I'm not real sure why, to be honest, why she went there so late. I couldn't really find that. She placed a phone call that night at the hotel, the Roxy's Airport Inn, that's connected to the diner. Places a phone call at 10 p.m.
Okay.
It is not disclosed where or who that phone call was to. Whatever. I don't know if it was like not relevant or if it was a certain person. I mean, I don't know. But at 10:30 p.m. this night, she is seen walking down US 37. US 37 runs through Elwood, and it kind of collides with 13 in Elwood, so it kind of tells you like where she's at. If you know the Elwood area well, like you can be like, okay, I know where we're at here on 37. So she's seen by two men two guys that are in the car together, see this lady walking down the road, and they see a little gray car pull up next to her, and the guy was like talking to her. Then he ends up screaming obscenities at her and then drives away.
Okay. Sure.
I feel like if I'm in this situation, I would be like, ma'am, can I help you?
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong? These guys were like just driving and thought like, not my problem, whatever, and like went on. Teresa was never seen again.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
But she didn't get in the car.
She did not get in the car. She did not. At least not when those guys were there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, because of the intro, I know you well enough to know that you're already thinking you knew who did this.
Yeah.
Who do you think did it?
It's the husband.
Okay. I figured you would be on that train.
Let me go get my t-shirt real quick.
Yeah. I will say this. Out of all the husband done-its, I don't know if I could be... I don't know. You'll have to hear the case. It's definitely a husband done-it candidate.
Yeah.
For sure. Let me go ahead and rule out the runaway potential real quick for everybody there. Yes, she was at a hotel. Yes, it was near an airport.
I was thinking that too. Like,
but aside from the troubled marriage, like her life was going really well.
Okay.
That day had actually been her 4th day at a new job in finance that she had just gotten in Carmel.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of a drive, but it's a big job. So like, it's like a good move for her.
Yeah.
And she loved her son, Jimmy, loved being his mom. She had a great relationship with her parents, who were 100% confident that she would never abandon her son. When she had left for the hotel, she had not taken anything, like no bags, no clothes, no money. Like they had money. Like she didn't take like a bunch of cash or anything like that. And she was getting closer and closer to a new start. She actually had an appointment scheduled the next morning with a divorce attorney.
Yep.
No, her husband definitely did not want to get a divorce. In fact, he had actually met with Teresa's parents to try to like get them to talk her out of it.
Okay, like she can't make her own decisions and her mommy and daddy have to tell her to stay with you, sir? Goodbye.
I mean, I feel like if you were being crazy, I'm close enough with your parents to be like, she's being crazy, like I need your help. But it's like
being crazy.
It's our regular Thursday conversation.
That's true.
But
and I would be like, okay, my mommy and daddy aren't gonna make me stay with you. Go ahead and talk to my parents. Like, crazy.
My parents like me more than, or your parents like me more than that.
Yeah, I know. I'd be like, live happily ever after with my parents because I know you all know nobody likes me. You guys will like each other better.
We love you. I'm just nicer. Anyways,
you're not wrong.
Anyways, when he went to talk to them, they were kind of like taken back by that a little bit because they didn't have a bad relationship with him, but they just didn't really have a relationship with him. Like he never really like cared about the whole like, oh, let's be close with the in-laws thing. Like it was.
Now all of a sudden he wants their help.
And it's like, I know a lot of people, the in-law situation, I'm very lucky. Like our in-law situation is awesome. Like my in-laws are awesome. My parents are great too. My parents love you. And we've been together since we were 15. So that helps.
We have no in-law drama.
Yeah.
Ever.
But like I know that relationship is difficult sometimes. So like I don't even really want to go there too much. But he did reach out to her parents about trying to talk her out of getting divorced. And they described their relationship with him distant, but they were very close with their daughter. And she had confided in the parents that her and James had problems. None of my sources really went into what those problems were.
I bet they were James.
Well, what's interesting is she like made it clear to her parents that like she didn't want to hurt James. Okay. Like she was not like, I hate this person, I want to get divorced. Like she still cared about him, like wanted him to have a good life. But she, just felt like it was time to get a divorce.
Maybe she had a boyfriend. She went to the
I looked for that. And nothing confirms a boyfriend, but it said there's like one source or two sources that said she may have left the restaurant with an undisclosed person. Yeah. To me, that sounds like a boyfriend, right?
Well, I mean, if she's like, I don't want to hurt him, but I just like somebody more than him.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, she felt like it was time to get a divorce, to lined up the divorce attorney, all that stuff. Yeah, so like there's that big piece of the story that like detectives are automatically like, oh, okay, so trouble in paradise, and then the wife goes missing.
Classic.
Yeah. 2 days after Teresa goes missing, her car is found
Okay.
by James's brother.
Okay. Where?
It was in a rural area of US 37 south of Elwood, which I've driven that several
rural,
times.
yeah.
Very rural. So when they found the car, it had a flat tire.
Oh.
Yeah. So her car was a little gray car, a 1979 Toyota Celica, which is pretty much exactly what those two guys described. Like, remember the two guys that said they saw somebody pull up, scream at her, and then drive away?
Yeah, so remind me again what she was doing. She was walking?
She was just walking on US 37.
Where at? Exactly?
Like south of Elwood. So like
was she
the
walking
outskirts of
because
Elwood.
Her car had a flat tire? Is that
I
why she
mean,
was
that makes a
walking?
lot of sense to me, right?
Yeah. And these guys just pulled up and yelled at her for no reason.
No, these guys watched somebody in a gray car pull over and yell at her.
Yeah.
And so they described...
What were the two guys doing?
They were just driving. I had to explain this like 5
I know. So I'm just trying to picture like how. So was this in a rural area when they saw the
Outskirts
yelling?
of Elwood. Outskirts of Elwood. They saw the yelling. Why they didn't stop, I don't know. I absolutely would have. But
I wonder
people...
what makes them think there was yelling.
They saw the
body
car
language?
stop and talk to her, and then heard the guy yell obscenities at her, and then
That's
speed
a lot
off.
of information for somebody that was driving down the road. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Going really slow with your windows down.
I don't,
to
maybe it was
hear
at like a
that?
stop sign. I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
I have questions about that situation.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Sounds pretty.
But
That's what I'm saying. It sounds pretty convenient for these guys to be like, "Oh, we saw her, but she was definitely getting yelled at by somebody else." Okay.
I mean, these are the only like witnesses they have in the whole situation. And that's how they're treated, is as witnesses. I don't think they're ever brought up in the suspect category.
I'm suspect. I'm
surprised to hear you say this. I figured you'd be like,
suspicious of
whatever the husband says is a lie.
the
and this is-
witnesses, though.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm suspicious of the husband, but I'm suspicious of these witnesses and their story. I just don't know how you can say I was driving and I saw an argument and heard obscenities from my moving vehicle.
yeah. I mean, if it's in town, I feel like I'm thinking like in Greentown. If we're driving, you're only going a little bit. There's something happening. You slow down, like you could hear people yelling. I don't know. But I'm with you. I have questions too.
Continue.
But this is interesting. Okay. So the car they described, a little gray car. They also described a certain sound that the muffler made that was like unique. And so when they find her car, it's this little gray Toyota Celica, and in a lot of ways exactly what they described as the car that pulled up next to this lady and yelled at her and drove
So you're
away.
trying to tell me her car was the car that was yelling at her?
Which makes no sense.
Unless it was the husband.
I mean, unless it was the person that was with her.
Kicked her out and made her walk. And
But
she got
again,
mad and walked away.
though, if you have a flat tire, that's why she's walking. How does one drive that car with a flat tire?
Unless
Yell
the
at her.
flat tire happened after this whole situation.
Yeah, it is. But either way, it's very weird. But when they described the muffler sound, the people were like, they're talking about the same car.
Yeah,
100%.
her car.
Definitely her car.
So somebody
So-
was yelling at her from her own car.
Somebody drove. She was walking away from her own car. Somebody
she got in a
drove.
fight with somebody.
Yeah.
She got pissed off and it's like, I'm walking home. And as she's walking home, this person turns the car around, pulls over and yells at her and then leaves.
Yeah.
And then goes and parks the car further south of town and flattens the tire to make it look like.
I mean, that's kind of far fetched to me. I mean,
It's not far-fetched to me.
It's so.
That explains why she was walking. It explains why somebody yelled at her, and it explained why the tire was flat and she was outside of town. They ditched the car after they killed her and made her go missing.
Then where? I mean,
Where is she?
that is the theory.
She's literally
right?
never been seen since.
Never.
No body, no nothing, no evidence.
Nothing.
Disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yes.
I hate it so
Yes.
freaking much.
Yes.
I hate cases like this.
Yeah, and like you said, it sounds like something an angry husband could do, but like the questions that you just went over.
But was he home with
like,
the kid all night?
That's yeah. So like he would have had to. He would have had to.
He was home with the.
But even if he wasn't, she left in the car, so he would have had to drive
Somehow
his
get
own
there.
car, take her car,
It definitely
kick
sounds
her
more like
out,
the boyfriend.
drive
than
her
the
around.
husband.
I mean, right?
Yeah, with a 2-year-old. Like, I mean, you could leave a 2-year-old at home, but that's
Stupid and scary.
yeah,
Like,
not. Doesn't sound like something you could pull off with a 2-year-old.
yeah,
I've
I
done a
mean,
lot of things with
again,
2-year-olds, not
there's
that.
just a lot that doesn't add up with the husband doing that. I feel like.
I'll give you that. It does not sound like the husband was involved. So did they ever find any evidence that he was involved?
No. I mean, like we'll continue here if you like to tell the story.
Sorry. I mean, he didn't like sell her stuff the next morning and like get married, right?
No. Okay. No.
Take out a life insurance policy?
No, none of that. Like I mentioned, there's the whole like undisclosed person that she may have left with at the diner.
Where did that info come from?
That's just in the report. There is no mention of who this phone call was to that she made. Like they can say she made a phone call at this time, but like if it was to her parents, why not say that?
Yeah.
If it was to her husband, why not say that? Like I don't know. Yeah, super weird. James was not seen at the diner or the hotel, so like it's not like he came and picked her up at the hotel. Just a weird situation overall. So like whoever was potentially driving that car, like, I mean, like you said, it makes the most sense to me that it could have been a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And maybe she was having second thoughts about the divorce, the next morning. I mean, who knows? I guess I feel like that would make more sense than the husband, though. I don't know. And then there's the flat tire thing, too. Like, would he really go back and flat tire? Like you said, it could be like, oh, that's why she was walking, because I had a flat tire. But if you don't, I don't know. It just seems like a lot to me. So they found the car, though. That's the important part. Yeah. So they found the car. Law enforcement processed the car. No evidence of foul play.
I was going to ask, was the tire slashed? Or why was it flat?
That's a good question. It didn't mention that. I'm assuming because it looked like it was naturally flat. That's my guess. And then you're like, okay, what's the potential of there being another car that looks like hers, that sounds like hers? Like that's also in there, which I feel like is low. Anyways, so they processed the car, no foul play evidence. And then a day or so after this, Teresa's parents go over to see Jimmy, their son. And they're at James and Teresa's house. And they claimed there was a terrible odor coming from the basement. This is the parents.
Okay.
They're like, hey, why is there such a bad smell coming from the basement? And he's like, yeah, I'm working on stuff in the basement. And then according to friends, he filled it with concrete the next day.
Now I'm back on the husband.
I don't like that his brother found the car.
Yeah.
And then they're pouring concrete after they're looking for a body. But her parents are absolutely not. This freaking guy killed her daughter, buried her in the basement. So they look into this and find nothing. There's no evidence of her being in the basement.
Okay.
It looks horrible for James. And the husband did it sticker, people are rubbing it right now. I get it. But nothing comes of that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's too obvious. If he would have done it, it would have been obvious. At least burying her in the basement.
Yeah, because she would have been there.
Yeah. And I don't think they tore up the concrete. So I don't know what you do to be able to clear that scenario without crunching up the concrete. I don't really know. But they were able to say yeah, he didn't do this. They searched the whole house, in fact. And whether they did that with his permission or not, I don't know. But they searched the whole house and found absolutely nothing that led them to believe that Teresa ever came back to that house, either dead or alive. There was no evidence to be able to say, yep, he brought her body back here, or she came back after this scenario. She'd never been seen again after the whole walking by herself thing. There has actually never been any evidence that points to James, the husband, or any evidence that points to a homicide.
I was going to say, I mean, at this point, you can't really even...
by all means, she is a missing person. But from James's perspective, let's assume for a second that James is innocent. Okay? From James's perspective, she was planning on leaving him. We all know now about the divorce attorney that she was supposed to meet with. She was at a hotel next to an airport.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, from his perspective, though.
And he didn't know why she was leaving that night?
No. Or at least it's never said why.
Okay, but that airport in Elwood?
Yeah. It's not you're that's a good point to say. It is not just
this is not
oh, I can book a flight here.
No,
No,
you
no,
wouldn't
no.
be able to like walk up and be like, I went on this plane. It's like probably like a private,
Sure,
right?
it
It's
is. It is
small.
like it is a
Like, you'd have to
small.
have
It's
your
like
own
an
plane.
airfield more than an airport.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
She
sure.
couldn't have just gotten on a flight
And things might have been a little bit different with that way back in the day, but it's not like oh, I'm gonna take the 11 o'clock out of this airport.
Yeah.
Like you would have to have something lined up like well in advance, and there was no evidence of that. But like I see why he would be like, she left me. Like she said she was gonna leave me, and now she's gone. So let's just assume she left me. Like from James's perspective, which I don't believe, but like I get that.
Yeah.
Or maybe she left with someone else. Someone else. Like that. I think that's like what James is at. Like James is not initially like she's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fair, right? And so eventually they all come to the conclusion like, okay, she was met with foul play. Like that's what law enforcement, even though there's zero evidence of it. There's zero evidence for foul play at all ever. But they are saying like, okay, she was met with foul play. Like she could have been abducted. She could have been killed. Could she still be alive? I mean, James is like, I think she's still alive. I'm hoping she's still alive. Like I would rather her be alive than murdered, None of these questions ever get answered. Like we'd never find out where she is. Like still have no clue where she is. Like at all.
I hate this.
Yeah, missing person.
Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I am looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They're opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited.
So then this is kind of like interesting as time goes on. James obviously has custody of his son. He has no problem allowing like Teresa's parents to visit their son. I mean, like if something happened to you, like your parents would always have access to the boys. Like it would, I would never want them to not have access to our boys. And Raylan, I want to leave her out.
I'm still trying to get used to saying the boys.
Our kids instead of the boys. But then like one day, like they get in an argument, and Teresa's dad, Walter, lawyer, their last name was Lawyer, Walter and Wilma Lawyer. The dad like demands that James clears himself from any wrongdoing in Teresa's disappearance. So like this is like 6 months after the fact.
Yeah.
And like I've seen pictures of James. I haven't heard like any quotes or anything from James. James kind of seems like a simpleton to me. Like he's kind of got like a long beard, like just seems like kind of like a good old boy kind of guy. Right. And like seems pretty quiet. I don't know. But like he did not appreciate that. How he was like demanding like you need to clear yourself of any wrongdoing. And so after that, like he was upset, and he was like, okay, well I legally don't have to let you visit the kids.
Ooh.
Which is true.
I mean, yeah.
Because Teresa is not dead at this point. Like legally not dead. Right? I mean, it's only been 6 months.
True.
In the state of Indiana, you have to be missing for 7 years before the court will automatically declare you dead. Mm. And we're talking about 6 months. Since they were not divorced, the right of parenting was solely on James and Teresa. Teresa was not there, but still married. Therefore, it was totally James's call. So James could deny visitation to anybody, including her parents. They were not happy about that at all. They were clearly going to get divorced. And they suspected highly that James was involved, and they wanted to see their grandson.
Yeah.
And so they were like,
a rough spot to be in.
That's a rough spot to be in. So 4 months after fighting this, and again, you're going through Christmas without seeing them, like all this stuff, tough time. 4 months after that, which is 10 months after Teresa had disappeared, her parents sued for their right to see Jimmy. Like I said, it technically takes 7 years before the court can legally declare a missing person dead. And the lawyers did not want to wait another 6 years to see Jimmy. They were like, we're going to miss his entire childhood. He was 3 at this time.
Yeah.
And so they went and they fought for it. And they actually got a judge to grant them visitation on the preponderance of a homicide.
Yeah. Okay.
Different than a legal declaration of death.
Okay.
She's not legally dead. She's never been declared legally dead. I mean, the fact that it's been 7 years, like technically, yes, she's legally dead. But this was enough for them to get what they wanted. I don't know if they ever pursued anything more than that. If they had life insurance, I'm sure they did, but it's not really mentioned here.
Yeah.
But in that case, they were given visitation based off of the preponderance of a homicide by the judge, so that they could still see Jimmy. But like that is where the case sits.
That's
like
insane.
Teresa's body has never been found. Nobody has ever been arrested or charged with anything. The only real suspect has ever been is James. Because
yeah, who else is it gonna be?
I mean, just it's a bad look for James, like no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But there's zero evidence that like suggests James did anything.
Foul odor, but that's about it.
According to the in-laws that don't like you, that think you did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, goodness. So her son Jimmy, like 35, like I don't know if he's still living in Anderson. Like he might.
He'd be how old?
35.
Yeah, probably.
So like,
what was his name?
I looked him up, can't find him.
You might have been able to.
One of my sources said that they found him and his wife, and then they like since deleted their Facebooks. So I don't know if like in the 2020 like people just got out of Facebook. I don't know. It'd be Jimmy Wisner, but yeah, I mean, both of her parents are deceased now, so there's nobody like other than James that would even be like looking into this. James and Jimmy would be like the only ones that like care, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's other people that care, but it's just been so long. It's been 35 years, you know? Like, I have no clue what happened. I think what you said makes the most sense.
Yeah.
The theory of there being a boyfriend that she was with, that things didn't go well, she decided to leave. But again, if you're, like, mad and you're going to leave a situation, why are you getting out of your own car?
Yeah.
Why is he driving her car?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have so many. I don't know. I mean, if she hooked up with the boyfriend that night and they were out driving together and got in a fight, she could have gotten out. But I would be like, "This is my car, get out."
Yeah, exactly. So then, like, the only other thing that I circle back to is what you said earlier. Like, all of this whole case is based on what these two guys that didn't help a woman clearly in need. Like,
yeah.
Like, why are those guys? What they like? Why is their testimony like Bible?
Yeah, I don't.
Because
like
that doesn't make sense to me. I just and like I've seen a lot of, you know, I look through the Facebook groups and there's no Facebook group about her, but like there's just like the Indiana missing persons Facebook groups and like those.
There's not a lot on it.
Yeah. But like those Facebook groups where like little details like this are posted. Basically, they just like copy and paste like what the Charlie Project says. Like a lot of them will be like, why didn't those men help her?
I think the men that saw her are the men that did it.
That I have questions about their integrity just from not helping her.
Well, I just
let alone like their story doesn't really add up.
So did they come forward to the police? Like they just like volunteered this?
Yeah, I mean, because like they were like, this person's missing, and they were like, well, we think we saw that person. Yeah.
Convenient.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all.
I don't like that she's just in Elwood somewhere probably.
35 years, never found her.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, but like I mean, somebody knows something. She didn't walk on 37 and get lost. Like you can't. No. That's not as rural as it is. You can't get lost.
This is the flat.
Yeah,
flat place here.
Yeah, you're not walking through woods anywhere. 37 goes into Elwood, so like.
No, somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. Someone did something. That sucks. You said her parents are dead.
Yeah, parents have died. I couldn't find anything on like her husband James, like what he's up to now. But like I said, her son would be 35, like our age, a little older.
If anybody has any connections, like and they know any more information, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in this. Close to home cases obviously rock you a little bit more than ones that don't hit so close, I guess.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, again, we're in a spot
Like,
where
I'm just
someone
like-
knows something for sure.
Like I'm literally just sitting here like I have nothing.
Yeah.
I have
Nobody-
all I have is questions. I have questions for some
The
people.
husband has motive, but like
Yeah.
him actually doing it makes no sense in like the scenario that was given.
No.
The flat, her car having a flat tire, walking, all that stuff.
Doesn't add up.
No.
I think yeah. Or the whole scenario with the guy yelling at her didn't even happen.
And it was just those two guys. I mean, that makes
Two guys that saw a lady walking alone
that makes just as
because
much.
her flat tire happened and she was walking to go call somebody and they saw her and then shifted the blame to this unknown man. Yeah.
But see, like the thing is too, like why would they describe her freaking car?
Yeah, and how did they know about the muffler sound? I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Jeez. I don't know. Let's sit here and like try to piece this puzzle together all night.
Yeah.
All right, tell us what you think.
Yeah.
With all the information we gave you, what makes the most sense on this case? Do you think she was driving with somebody, got in a fight and left? The flat tire happened before the fight, after the fight? Was she walking because of the flat tire? Was it the witness? Like, there's so many ways this could fit together. I need my red yarn board.
Someone knows something. If you like Missing Midwest, you will love Murdered Midwest. For just $5 a month, you can get access to an extra episode each week, plus over 50 backlogged episodes. Subscribe using the link in the show notes. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So Will I.
Bo Digital is the secret ingredient you need for success in marketing your small business. From logos and flyers to social media and videos, Bo Digital can create the marketing you need to set yourself apart. Oh, and they build websites too. Not only do they help my small business, but did you know that they help many others around Kokomo too, including Solidarity Community Credit Union, the Lindy Owsley and Chanel Cahill Real Estate Team, Hope Behavioral Services, and even the Kokomo Symphony. Let Bo build a custom plan for you today. Learn more at bodigital.com. That's BOWE digital.com.